Chapter 15, Life Transforming Coach. The primary responsibility of a love-powered coach is to properly assess your player's mental, physical, and emotional state, come up with a diagnosis based on their symptoms, and prescribe a plan of action that is going to address their biggest problems. That plan of action may be outsourcing certain things to other professionals, but it is your job to recognize that there are problems. Don't ignore them and chalk it up as normal. The first step to being a life-transforming coach is to decide what is best for the athlete right now. Unfortunately, as a coach, what is best for the athlete is often not the easiest or most convenient option for you. Imagine you come across a young male lacrosse player who has no father figure, struggles with false confidence, bottles up and suppresses his emotions, and has trouble shooting with his left hand. What is the most important thing that you want to help him with? Addressing the weak left hand without coming up with a game plan to help him mentally and emotionally is like being the doctor who ignored the cancer and prescribed a stool softener. I was guilty of this for 6 years as a coach. As I mentioned earlier, we once had an athlete who had been cutting herself for 3 months without me or any other coaches noticing. Yes, the self-harm was right in front of our faces. I was so focused on the external problems that I couldn't even see the pain on the inside. I was so focused on improving her forehand strength that I didn't even recognize the forearm marks. Can you guess what she cared about more? Do you think she wanted to improve her shot more than her broken heart? No. I do not think you need to get 10 years of coaching experience or more before you begin noticing what really matters most. As I mentioned in the beginning, you just need to begin viewing yourself differently. Are you a softball coach or are you a loving, life-transforming coach? A great exercise is to imagine yourself at your own funeral and all the athletes you ever worked with are standing on stage telling the stories about how you impacted them. I want you to write down all of the things you want them to say about how you helped them. Would they say, "Coach Andrew helped me transform my jump shot in 11th grade, which in turn helped me become the loving, patient, present father I am today for my kids"? Probably not. Think about that for a while and write it down. Beginning with the end in mind is a proven way to ensure that your life's work as a coach is purpose-driven and accurately focused. Coaching myth. What the parent wants, the parent gets. I am there to serve the parents' desires for their kids. Despite knowing Corey's biggest needs were stretching, recovery, and injury prevention, I allowed his overbearing parents, whose primary concerns were a higher vertical jump, to dictate my coaching game plan. I didn't want them to get mad and stop bringing Corey in for workouts, but I also knew that higher vertical required a lot more strength training and power training, two things that will be counterproductive for an athlete in season. The result of bending to the parents' wishes? Corey experienced more injury, less enthusiasm for basketball, and resentment towards myself and our team. Coaches, stand your ground. Be steadfast. If you know your ways are true, good, and long-term focused, communicate that to the parents and stand firm. You can still throw in a box jump or two to appease the parent if they just won't let it go. Remember, leadership is not about making people happy. It is about making them better. It is tough sometimes, but leaders do tough things. I think the hardest part is when societal pressures rise and there is not a win-win scenario. You cannot always do what is in the best interest of your athletes and please all parties involved. If you do not have the right training and are unsure of how to go about helping a young male or female with challenges outside of just their sport skills, I suggest you commit now to going on a journey to learn. Anxiety that comes from the fear of rejection and not being accepted is more important to address than getting your player's 300-yard shuttle time to go down from 1 minute and 10 seconds down to 1 minute. A mental breakthrough oftentimes can impact a player's on-field performance more than that 10-second drop anyway. I am not saying ignore the conditioning, But what I am saying is that you as a coach have the power to alter the trajectory of the next 65 years of a young man or woman's life. We need to check our practice plan, literally.